Us now this morning to talk a little bit more about this is Congressman Mike Quigley. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us on the phone here.
Good morning. Thank you.
First of all, tell us your thoughts right now. I mean, a lot of Americans are hearing this news, and the concern, obviously, is that this is escalating quite quickly.
That's exactly right. I mean, the attack represents a massive escalation in the conflict with Iran, with very unpredictable consequences. We're already starting to see that there are strategies that will be set back here. There's a very real chance that our forces will be kicked out of Iraq, reducing our ability to fight ISIS. We're already hearing the U.S.-led coalition that's fighting ISIS is going to halt that fight as it prepares for Iranian attacks in Iraq and Syria. The cessation probably in that fight against ISIS will allow them to regroup and rebuild. Worse, the Iran-backed militias that were fighting the Islamic State have turned their attention to the U.S. And, of course, we're now hearing that Iran is pulling completely out of the nuclear deal, which had severely limited their ability to build a bomb.
Congressman, let me ask you this. President Trump not backing down over the weekend. He is threatening to take out cultural sites. Given the tenor of his threats, should we be bracing for war with Iran this morning?
I don't think that anything is gained when the president makes such statements. Obviously, these cultural sites have value to people across the Middle East, and threatening that doesn't gain us any allies. Iran poses a much greater threat than Iraq. It's 3 times the population. It is the world's exporter of nation-backed terrorism, primarily through Hezbollah. This is a very dangerous situation.
Well, how should America have responded? Because there was this attack on our U.S. embassy. They, went into the building. That is American soil there. It is considered sovereign, and yet they violated this. And this Soleimani was actually in Iraq when he was killed. He's a guy from Iran. He was in there. Clearly, he's responsible, according to so many people, for at least 600 deaths of U.S. servicemen. How should America have responded, in your opinion, to that embassy attack?
Look, Soleimani is a mastermind of immense violence, suffering, of instability. He was an evil person, so we don't grieve him. The question you have to ask is, how do you act, which is not actions prelude to war, a war which would be devastating not just to the United States but to our allies, and it's a threat that exists as we are speaking. This began with what the president calls a maximum pressure campaign, unilaterally pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. That made us less safe. The maximum pressure that came from that has only worked in the opposite direction. If the president wants a strategy that works toward what you're talking about, he hasn't talked about it yet. And as a result, the fact is we are acting on a unilateral basis. He has, in the meantime, for 3 years now, attacked our allies, attacked the intelligence community, and frankly decimated his own diplomatic corps. So the answer is, at this point in time, be the opposite of what the president's doing. Build the coalitions who understand what the threat is to Iran and prepare ourselves for the threat that exists right now.
All right, Congressman, unfortunately, we got to end it there. Mike Quigley, thanks so much for joining us on the telephone this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.